This is the plaintiff, Marvin Williams. He says he rented an apartment from the defendant, and unbeknownst to him, the place was illegal. He ended up moving out. The lying defendant refuses to return his security, despite there being no damages, and he's suing for the $1,250 he's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Donetta Rivera. She says the plaintiff's a rotten apple who not only made unwarranted passes at her, when he moved out, he left behind feces and urine for her to deal with. That's just disgusting. He also ran out on the last month's rent. Owe him money for all he's put her through? Hogwash. She's accused of lousy landlording. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,250 for 1 month's rent.
All parties, please hit your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. A plaintiff rented an apartment that turned out to be illegal, so he moved out and got stiffed. But the defendant says the plaintiff made passes at her and left feces and urine behind. It's the case of you're in big trouble now.
Thank you, Douglas. Marvin Williams, you are suing your former landlady, Donetta Rivera, for $1,250 in security deposit that you want returned to you. She has a counterclaim against you for September rent. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, Your Honor. I'm a veteran, first of all. I was in a veterans shelter boarding.
Thank you for your service. Okay.
You're welcome. I was in a veterans shelter for a year. The veterans have a policy to help veterans get reacquainted back to civilization and suitable housing. So the housing coordinator gave me a lead to call this broker, and I called the broker.
Do they do any kind of screening process?
No, since my income superseded the guidelines, I was a cash recipient, so all they would do... Yes.
So they just gave you the money and it was up to you to find the place?
Right.
Okay, so there's no inspection or anything. All right, so they gave you the money for how many months' rent?
They gave me 3 months' rent plus security.
Okay, and this was to be able to rent what?
A studio.
A studio which was located where?
4810.
No, I'm sorry. Located where in the house is what I meant. Is it a basement?
Yes, in the basement.
Okay, and then is it a one-family house?
Yes.
And you live there?
Yes.
Okay, and then so they give you rent money, and you give it to her, and the first 3 months are covered, and then September comes. That would be the first month that you got to pay out of your pocket.
Yes.
Did you pay rent on September 1st?
Well, I couldn't pay rent on September 1st because it was a legal dwelling, and HPD, they issue a vacate for September the 8th. So I had to move out September the 7th.
Can I see that says September the 8th? During those 3 months, were you living in that basement apartment?
No, the first 2 months I was upstairs in a little small, room, like a closet, because after she received the money from the veteran housing coordinator, she's going to tell me, oh, she had a problem with the previous tenant. They made a complaint. They went to housing, stating that it was an illegal apartment.
Did the previous tenant go to housing and make a complaint?
They made a complaint, yes.
Is this apartment illegal?
It is.
Okay. So now you have a different apartment and you paid 3 months rent in advance? Or
right. She's going to come to me and say, oh, can you please help me?
What room did you put him in?
Not a closet, Your Honor.
What was it? Yeah, but it's not what he rented.
It was a room that I built for an office space.
So you put him in your office? I mean, how's that right?
It was 9 by 11, and his bed and everything fit perfectly, and he was very happy to stay there. He agreed to stay there.
How big was the bottom one that he was supposed to be renting?
The studio, it was a studio size, so it was a decent size. I have pictures.
What is the answer to, yeah, let me see the pictures of what he was supposed to be renting, where he would be ecstatic about staying in a 9 by 11 room. Did the basement have a kitchen?
It did.
Did the room have a kitchen that you built up there?
He was, I had a kitchen and a bathroom.
So now he's your roommate?
He became my roommate in the beginning.
But he didn't want to be your roommate. He wanted his own space.
I asked him. I said, I will give back the money to the guy right now before he leaves if he does not agree. And
that's
he
not
said
true,
that didn't happen?
No, that's not true. She accepted the money. My veteran coordinator and housing left. Then she's going to hit me after I have everything moved in.
But where'd you move it into? To
down
the basement?
The basement, right. That was the agreement.
And then she tells you, don't sleep in there, sleep upstairs?
The previous tenant made a complaint. The place is illegal, and if you give me a month or a month and a half, I will get everything fixed so you can go downstairs.
So this is what you were supposed to be renting, which has a bathroom, has some kind of makeshift kitchen. It's much bigger than 9 by 11. And then he lives up there how long?
A month.
A month and a half, almost 2 months.
Okay, and then what happens? Do you ever go downstairs?
Yes, I informed her that they was coming out to inspect. When they came out to inspect, I had to text
Wait,
them
why are they coming out to inspect? I thought you said they don't inspect.
because I called them and told them about
Oh, you
the problem.
complained. Okay.
Right.
Did you also call housing?
Yes, I did.
It says right. If I listen, you know,
He called them before everything was removed. He complained about the paint not being one color because it was painted in 2 colors.
Yeah.
And he thought that
except
wasn't
for that housing
finished.
came in, they gave you like how many violations?
They didn't give me any. They just told him.
Excuse me?
They just told him that he had to vacate. And they told
Discontinue the use of rooms for living, disconnect all plumbing fixtures which are illegal, and properly seal the pipe connections, wash basin, shower stall, water closet,
Which I
and
did.
kitchen. Right, that's a violation. That's
Okay.
violation number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different violations they gave you.
Okay, and
now
I
you know?
complied.
All right, so let me see if I got this straight. You make him live somewhere which wasn't the deal, or make him, you know, you don't provide what it is you rented to him, and you won't return his security deposit.
He didn't give me one. I never received a security deposit. I received 4 months' rent and a security voucher.
What's a security voucher?
It's just a paper stating that in case he decided he didn't want to pay rent, I can take the Veterans Affairs to court.
Okay, and when did he move in?
He moved in May 1st.
May 11th, Your Honor.
May
Because-
11th?
Right.
They gave me the check May 1st. He moved in May 1st.
Okay, but did they pay all of May?
They paid May, June.
Just a second.
What happened, the veterans, they brought me out May 11th, gave her the money. That's
Can
when
I see something from the veterans showing that they brought you out on May 11th and gave her the money? And also, is there a lease in this case?
Yes.
There was.
May I see the lease? You don't have the lease?
I don't have it with me.
What do you bother? You don't have it with you? What do you have it for? As a doily for your beer? This is a case about a tenancy. What would be the point of getting a lease and not having a copy of it when you're sued? Okay, the lease starts May 1st. I don't care when you move in, the lease starts May 1st according to this. This is the lease that you ended up signing? All right, so we've got May, June, July, and August, right?
Yes.
Okay, and according to you, they gave you 4 months of rent, or did you pay August?
No.
Okay, so whether we call it rent or security deposit, there were 4 months that you lived there, and 4 months, I'm not counting September. May, June, July, and August are 4 months.
Right, but it wasn't an agreement to be living in a room for 2 months.
Okay, so you want your security deposit back, not because you weren't there in September and didn't have a living facility. You want your security deposit back because you feel you should get a rent abatement for moving to the other room.
Yes.
That's what you want.
Yes.
But then what do I do about the August month that you were
Well,
there and didn't pay?
Well, from my understanding, the veterans paid everything up. I was supposed
Well,
to
show
start
me what
paying.
the veterans paid.
And her phone is a text to her stating that the veteran, since she didn't make any of the repairs, that I
It
wouldn't.
says 4
that-
months rent in advance. How much is
Okay.
rent?
The rent is $12.50. But Yana, what I'm trying to say to you was
Why? I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Yeah.
what I'm
So
trying to
that's
say.
they paid. Here's what the sheet from the Veterans Administration. They paid $5,000 and then said if anything happens to destroy the place, we'll pay up to $12.50. That's what the security voucher is.
The voucher does that.
All right.
Yes.
So it says they paid 4 months rent, and you were there May, June, July, and August. So there is not a security deposit for you to get returned. You're asking me, Judge, I didn't want to live up there, and I ended up living up there longer than I wanted to, and so I should get $12.50. Did you think there was a security deposit?
Yes, that's
I know.
what the veterans
I
told
think
me.
you thought there was a security deposit, but this is a document from who authored this?
The Veterans Affairs that paid
Let
me.
me show it to you. They paid her $5,000, which covered 4 months' rent, which is why they told you not to pay till September. Do the math. May, June, July, and August.
This is how much you gave total? That per month?
You didn't have a separate security that you paid her, right?
No.
Right.
But, Yana, what I'm trying to address, right, if you look at the documents that I got from HPD, she shouldn't have rented me the place in the first place.
No, but here's the thing. When people, here's how it works, though.
So is it illegal or even a violation of the lease for a landlord to make a pass at a tenant?
I would say it's highly inappropriate, but illegal? Probably not.
Is it wrong for a landlord to make a pass at a tenant?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily wrong, but it's definitely a conflict of interest.
Does it depend on how hot the landlord is?
I don't know.
Going inside the courtroom.
When someone rents out an illegal apartment and you live there a year, and then, you find out it's illegal, you don't get to turn around, live rent-free, and get that bonanza. So she doesn't get to collect rent, but you don't get to get rent paid back to you just because it was illegal. Your only argument is, hey, I rented X, she got paid, next thing you know, she pulls a switcheroo, and I think that's wrong. Now, what do you say to that argument? Because he believes it's certainly not going to be $1,250, but he feels that you have overcharged him because you rented him one thing and provided him with another for a month and a half, 2 months, or what do you say it was?
2 months.
And you say it was?
A month, maybe a little, like a month
Well,
and
it
a
was
week.
it was July, and he's renting from May and June and July, so that's 2.5 months, right?
No. I already told him in June, the end of June, to order his bed, to go downstairs, that it's ready for him. He was more upset that, and I'm gonna let you know the real deal here. He was hoping to have some sort of relationship with me outside of landlord and tenant.
That's true.
He was throwing money at me. He was inviting me to his church, inviting me to dinner. And I even told my kids right away, I said, I don't feel comfortable. And I made sure I got the basement ready as fast as I could, because I needed him to leave from my privacy because of his behavior. So I think that he became annoyed or offended or something, or felt rejected. That's when his attitude towards me started changing.
Why didn't you just not take the money?
Because he really needed a place. There's 2 reasons why I accepted him. 1, he served the country.
I didn't ask you about
2,
that. I asked you why, according to you, you're standing there, he's standing there, and the veterans person is standing there.
Well,
and
he left already. He went to his
so
car.
it's like he said.
He went to his car.
He left. So
No,
you
he
take
didn't
the money, you don't
leave.
say, hey, we have a problem, hold on. You don't say that. You wait until the guy's in, the money's in your hand, and that guy leaves,
And I
because
said,
that guy pays the money to you.
Listen, this is the deal. I want to give you a place to stay. I know your
I
situation.
think you owe some money for that, though, because it's not the
But he
same to live in a
agreed.
place.
He agreed to stay.
I understand
He could have
he
said
agreed to
no,
stay.
and I would have just gave the money
I
back.
understand that.
He said, whatever you say, I'm going to do. Whatever you lead, I'm going to follow. Those were his words, Your Honor.
Okay. You're awful self-righteous for someone who is renting out 2 illegal spaces.
No, I'm not right.
I'm going to order you to return part of the money. But it's not going to be the figure he wants. I think you should get a rent abatement for the 2 months in the amount of $200 for each month. So that's $400 verdict for the plaintiff. On
you,
your
Your Honor.
counterclaim against him, you don't get to sue for rent.
Okay.
For when it's an illegal apartment, right?
Okay.
That's like coming in and, like the two of you have a cocaine deal and the cocaine's not quality, and you coming in and saying, I got ripped out. No, we don't let that happen. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care.
Hold on.
So the plaintiff only gets $400 back, not the $1,250 he was seeking. Ms. Rivera, you get nothing on your countersuit. You understand that. What's the status of the house now and those apartments that are illegal?
Actually, I got rid of him, and that's enough for me.
Okay. And you're not renting out the other spaces?
No,
right?
sir.
Okay, good enough. All right, thank you very much.
Have a great day.
You must sign a few documents. Mr. Williams,
Yes.
are you happy where you're living at the moment?
Right now, not there. Yes, of course. I'm somewhere else, and it's what I'm paying for. A studio
right.
with a full kitchen, full bathroom, living room, and closet space.
Okay, well, good. Congratulations. All right. Sorry you didn't get everything, but $400 better than nothing, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you must sign some documents. Harvey?
Well, look, a pass isn't even a violation of the contract, but if the landlord continues, it becomes harassment.